Welcome to a wet and windy Knockhill racing circuit for the penultimate round of the Scottish Legends Championship. Now, Heat 1 sees David Hunter on pole position in what is always such a nicely turned out car. Hopefully I've not jinxed it there in any way. We'll have a quick chat. Dave, good way to start the weekend. Wet, horrible conditions, but you're at the front of the pack for the first one.
Yeah, I mean, we've been lucky this year, to be honest. This is our first proper wet weekend, so we can't really complain, but it is what it is. It's the same conditions for everybody. You just got to get on and do the job.
Championship-wise, what's your thoughts?
Well, after the hilarities at the last one, I mean, it's brought everything a little bit closer, so we really need to capitalise on it now. If not, then it is out of reach, but it's still there for the taking.
Good luck. We'll wander back. You see David there has got a yellow visor on his helmet. The reason he's done that is in these wet conditions, they say that this yellow visor picks out the puddles and whatnot, and he's going to need it because there's a lot of water out there. I want to wander all the way back and speak to the number one car of the man we always speak to, but we've got good reason this time, as he had that huge accident at the last meeting. You saw him go end over end down the start-finish straight, and he's in what is a new car. It's not a brand new car, but it is a new car for him. John, we had a catch up for the wrong reasons at the last meeting. It all went horribly wrong about 20 feet into the first race, and you went end over end. Talk us through what's happened since then.
Yeah, well, Stevie's been working every minute of every day. He says his wife sent him a picture because she couldn't remember what he looked like because he's been in the garage constantly for 2 weeks. This is a completely different car, a car that I bought a few years back that just sat in the corner. I hadn't used it and I hadn't really done anything with it, so we had to work night and day to get what was left of the old car onto this car, get the seating position moved and engine changed over, all my instruments, so just to make it as much like my old car as I could salvage. But to be honest, everything in the car was wrecked apart from the engine, the reverse box and the seat. So we're
at least you got your engine, because I know in this championship, and I know you in particular have got a favourite engine. A lot of guys have got an engine that they like. At least you could salvage that.
Yeah, well, the thing is, we only get 3 changes or 3 rebuilds. And I've run the same engine all year, and it's done me good so far. So I'm glad I'm not having to change that, because that would be something else to throw into the mix. My main concern here is when a brand new car that's been in a million bits. I ran it yesterday for the first time. You're just hoping nothing comes loose, falls off, or you don't develop a wee electrical problem that you don't know about, and it ends up costing you a finish. So really,
the championship is really tightened up. We just spoke to Dave, and I think his exact words were that it's not over yet.
No, it's certainly never over. I think the last round went to prove that. But I need to get. I'm starting from the back. This race is just a finish for me. Top 3 would be great. Because Dave's at the front, I'm at the very back. I'm not going to go hammer and tonk to try and get through the traffic, because he'll be long gone. Race 2, I'm at the front, so I'll have a better time, and then the final will be whatever it is.
You're about to get sent out on track. Good luck.
Thank you. Thanks. Cheers.
And with that, I'll hand it to Richard. Legends race number 1.
Thanks very much, Joe. Pole position to David Hunter then, Michael Paxton alongside. Then it's John Bushby and Colin McNEILL. Row 3, Stuart Black with Ivor GREENWOOD. Row 4, Billy Waite and Jordan Hodgson. And row 5, Brian McCULLOCH and Steve McGill. The 6th row of the grid, Ross McCulloch and championship leader John Patterson. Charles Fraser, hoping for his first race finish, starts at the back of the field, as all newcomers do in Legends. Pace car pulls off track, and it's down to Michael Paxton and David Hunter to pace the cars now up to the line. Nobody's allowed to break ranks until they cross the start-finish line, which they do, and it's David Hunter with Paxton on the outside line. Are we going to see a challenge for 3rd place from Colin McNEILL? Row 2, the red car up into 3rd, now up into 2nd place. Side by side, Ivor GREENWOOD with Stuart Black. The 16 car is John Bushby, and in blue on the outside line is John Patterson, the championship leader. A fairly circumspect couple of opening corners for the number 1 car. John Patterson vying to be the first driver to win 4 consecutive Scottish Legends titles. Patterson's on board, nips down through on the inside line of Steve McGill, the man from Bowness. Regular on the podium is Steve McGill. These wet conditions could prove to be a big leveller for the field, as Patterson runs a tad wide over the curbs, still chasing down Jordan Hodgson, the blue number 8, man who leads the rookie championship. 2.585 points, playing Michael Paxton's 2.265. Big point scores, but remember there are 200 points for each race win. 1.85 second, 1.70 for third position, and then the points drop by 10 for each place. So a total of 1,200 points available in this meeting, and also our finale on the 8th of October, where hopefully the weather's going to be a little bit better than it is right now. Paterson's made progress. There's Billy Waite in the lone sedan shape. If you look at the rear window, the rear side window, slightly bigger one is the sedan shape, and it's the coupe of Jordan Hodgson that goes through on the inside. Chasing now is Steve McGill in white. But out front, David Hunter still there from Ivor GREENWOOD. Paterson Championship leader. David Hunter second from Ivor GREENWOOD, Steve McGill. Jordan Hodgson, top rookies, fifth. And Ryan McCulloch, sixth in the championship standings. Ivor GREENWOOD closing up. Colin McNEILL third. And then Ryan McCulloch in 71. The white and red car up ahead of Michael Paxton. Jordan Hodgson in 8 will be chasing Michael Paxton. Billy Waite is next up in the 17. Billy, as usual, has had some handy results over the course of the season. And Bill avoiding the standing water on the way into the hairpin, and on the inside line a little bit of opposite lock there from Steve McGill, but he collects it up well. He's being tracked at the moment by Ross McCulloch, but a challenge for the lead because Ivor GREENWOOD in 37 goes down the inside line, down Duffer Stip and into the lead past David Hunter. Ivor GREENWOOD, I'll say it again, the septuagenarian, remember. What an absolute class driver Ivor GREENWOOD is. And Ivor the driver out front once again, this time from David Hunter. The gap between the two on points is 125, and Ivor will notch that down. If they finish like this, the gap will come down by 15, so not a huge dent, and they'll start relatively together in race 2. And a reminder, in Legends Cars racing, all the cars 1250cc Yamaha powered cars, the bodies 5/8 scale replicas of the American NASCAR racers of the 30s and 40s, and the chassis imported from the States. The cars run all over the world in domestic championships. They have a world championship, which this year I believe is taking place in Finland, the first time ever that it's taking place outside of the United States of America. So hats off to 600 Racing in America for allowing that. And hopefully we'll get the chance to talk more about that later on. But meanwhile, Stuart Black passes Michael Paxton. Stuart Black took a very popular win at the last meeting on the traditional direction. Remember, the last meeting that we had here was the reverse direction meeting, where we had that awful accident at the start involving John Patterson. All credit to the Burnett Motorsport team for getting Wee Pat back out in time for the second heat, believe it or not. And he was out for the final race as well and scored points. Colin McNEILL running a little bit wide, and Stuart Black might be able to nip past here. Gets a decent run and goes up the inside line into Clark Corner. So Stuart Black started 5th on the grid, side by side with Ivor GREENWOOD. He was on the grid with John Bushby and Colin McNEILL ahead. He's finally managed to get the better of Colin McNEIll in the red number 4 car. So there is Stuart at the head of this battle, with Jordan Hodgson putting pressure on Michael Paxton. The two rookies in very close proximity here, and the rookie championship leader goes to the inside line, the number 8. Michael Paxton, has he got anything in reserve here? Looks like a good run by the number 8 car, and the rookie championship leader passes his main rookie championship challenger. Neville Anderson is the other man in the rookies, but Neville not racing with us this weekend, sadly. So the championship very much between Jordan Hodgson and Michael Paxton for the newcomers this year. And indeed you can see that Hodgson is having a look now at Colin McNEIll. Can't quite do it as they come up towards the chicane. Steve McGill down behind them, then Ross McCulloch, but Ivor GREENWOOD still out front. John Patterson, incidentally, has got the fastest lap of the race in the number 1 car. John always seems to come through. I've got to say, looking a little bit subdued, John Patterson, but probably starting to think about the championship, although everyone always tells me that he settles for nothing less than a win. So fastest lap, but at the moment a little way behind Ivor GREENWOOD and David Hunter, which is probably what you'd expect with the likes of Hunter and GREENWOOD starting off the front. Here are the race leaders then, with Ivor GREENWOOD still leading from David Hunter. Hunter taking his first win of the season on the reverse format. We saw Ben Mason taking a win. Ivor GREENWOOD as well, 3 different winners on the reverse circuit last time out, which was obviously a pleasing statistic for Legends Racing. If you want to get involved and try your hand at Scottish Legends, talk to Andrew Donald. He runs the Legends Racing Experience here, and he'll pop you out probably in Ben Mason's car that we saw win last time, so you can get a flavour of it. Ryan McCulloch is 4th. John Patterson, you can see in 3rd place, is closing in on the leaders, so I take it back. Nothing subdued about John Patterson at all as they go down the straight with Ivor GREENWOOD still out front. And GREENWOOD's broken the toe from David Hunter. I tell you what, Patterson is going to be so focused on David Hunter's car. He's going to try and reel him in as the race leaders go through the hairpin again, climb uphill and head up towards the start-finish line once again. Ivor GREENWOOD, the race leader. Colin McNEILL running well in the number 4 car. And Colin here on for a decent finish. Could equal what he did in the reverse grid. Took a 7th place in the reverse grid. Had a 6th position in class in Anglesey, where they shared the track with their colleagues from Ireland. Stuart Black running well though at the moment in 5th place. Jordan Hodgson is in 6th, Colin McNEIll in 7th. So Colin McNEIll having a strong finish here. This could be his best finish so far on the clockwise version of the Knockhill circuit. But Stuart Black in 5th, and then Jordan Hodgson immediately behind him for 6th. Welcome back to Knockhill Circuit. A challenge here. Bang! Steve McGill onto the back of Michael Paxton. They're coming uphill into Clark Corner. That wasn't bump drafting, and I think that did enough to unsettle Paxton's car. He's facing the wrong way. He's on the grass, but he's kept it going and safely rejoins the circuit. That's a shame for Michael Paxton. It's dropped him down. He was running in 8th place, so Steve McGill gets 8th place. I'm sure it was unintentional from Steve. The last thing he wants to do is put a fellow competitor out. But as you can see, we're on the last lap, and it's Ivor GREENWOOD out front. John Patterson with the fastest lap back in 3rd. He's in shot as well. A little bit of opposite lock there from David Hunter, still running in 2nd place. So he's going to keep the championship fairly tight between Hunter and GREENWOOD. Patterson will still have a 300-point lead, but Patterson's going for 2nd place. John Patterson looks down the inside line, and he might get a run on Hunter, who's still opposite, locking all over the place. Patterson looks the smoother of the two, but it's GREENWOOD surely that's going to take another win in the 37 car. Ivor GREENWOOD looking for a 3rd win of the year here. Patterson to the outside line. He gets the opposite lock on the way into the hairpin. Surely that's going to be 2nd place to David Hunter. It's the run up the hill now, and it's Ivor GREENWOOD that takes the win. Side by side for 2nd. Hunter holds on to it. It was John Patterson in 3rd. Ryan McCulloch coming up the hill will take 4th place. Stuart Black at the head of this gaggle is in 5th. It's a long wait for this group of cars, and the trio still racing up towards the checkered flag. Stuart Black there, Jordan Hodgson next up, Colin McNEIll, great result for him in 7th place. Steve McGill will take 8th position. Here comes Steve, then Ross McCulloch, Billy Waite in the 17 car, John Bushby, Michael Paxton and Charles Fraser. Congratulations to Charles on his 1st Legends finish. That's down in 13th place. This confirmation of the top 10. Fastest lap for John Patterson. 11th John Bushby, then Michael Paxton and Charles Fraser.
Ivor, well done. I'm going to call that a dominant performance.
No, it wasn't a dominant performance, just got it lucky. I mean, it's funny, whenever the track last week was all the wrong way around, the Knockhill experts weren't at the match. And now all of a sudden the rain comes on today, and they're not at the match today either.
We've seen that in different classes as well.
Well, it's very difficult. It's very, very slippy, and there's certainly no doubt about it. But my engineer, Alan, in the Burnett Motorsport team, he keeps saying to me, "Are you in the zone?" And honestly, I have to tell you, I've been all around this paddock this morning looking for the signpost for the zone, and I have never been able to find it. Now, I'm going to have to talk to Derek Butcher, because the last time the snow was here, the bloody snow has knocked the sign down. So I better talk to Mr. Butcher and see if we can get that zone sign put up.
There was nothing wrong with that performance, Ivor.
Well, again, just got lucky. But they're running down now. It's nearly an end. The show's over, I would say maybe after this weekend. I don't know.
You say that every time.
I say that every time, and Stevie keeps talking me back. But I don't know. I'll say nothing. I'll keep my feelings to myself. But anyway, good lucky win, and we'll call it a lucky win.
Well done.
Thank you very much.
David, well done. Second place there. You had John for company in the end, but you need to, was it make hay while he's struggling with that new car?
Pretty much, aye, that's it. I need to do better than that though. I mean, there was only one place between us, and the points that I need to close, I need a bigger gap than that. But we're there, we're in front, so that's where we need to be.
Make it exciting in the next one. Go back to the drawing board, make some changes.
Well, it's just the grunt I'm missing. I mean, the handling's perfect. I mean, in that race there, I felt I had the pace from Duffus to Clark, so I was there or thereabouts, but on the straights I just was losing it, so.
Go and have a think.
We'll go and see what we can do. Thank you.
John, what I love about you is how upset you get when you don't win, and you try to hide it, but it doesn't work. But for a new car, come on, you've got to be happy. It made it to the finish, nothing fell off it.
I convinced myself I would be happy with top 3 before I started, and I drove the race a wee bit with a wee bit up my sleeve at the beginning, and I'm standing here raging. I wish I just went for it.
You've got another chance.
I know. I'm off pole with the second race, so that'll be easier. It just didn't open up for me at the start. I ended up taking too long to get through. By that time, Ivor and Davy got halfway up the track. I was gaining on them, but only a wee bit. You've only got 8 laps. Took me 3 laps to clear the field. They were probably 5 seconds up the road. I'm not gaining. I'm not a second a lap faster. So
I know technically it's the same car. It's technically the same thing, but you said to me, and I know myself, they do feel different from car to car. And you said you weren't overly comfortable with the way this one feels.
It feels good in the dry. In the wet, it's just more nervous. It seems to step out more than the other car, which is great in the dry because when you turn in an instant response. Whereas in the wet, when you've got that nervousness, it holds you back a wee bit with getting on the power. But it'll just take me a wee bit of time to adjust. I'll need to adjust how I drive. I've driven the same car since I started in Legends, so it'll take maybe a few races for me to get rid of the old habits and bring in some and just fine tune what I need to do to make this car work.
Well done.
Thanks, Joe.
Race number 2 lined up, and the rain continues to fall, and John Patterson now on pole position, feeling a little bit more comfortable with his car. We're going to struggle to get in here with these brawlies, but I'll join in with my brawly, John. I know you don't want it to be too wet in there too soon. Pole position, this has worked out nicely. You've had a race to get used to the car. This should be a clear win.
Yeah, I'll be pretty disappointed if I don't win from pole, but yeah, again, can happen. It's wet, doesn't take much to fall off the track with these wee things. But as long as I stay concentrated and focused, then I'd like to think I'll be there or thereabouts at the end, Joe.
I'm putting my money on you. Good luck.
Thanks. Cheers.
And with that, I'll hand it to Richard. Legends race number 2 heading your way.
Thanks, Joe. Can you believe that John Patterson needs time to settle with the car from pole position? This is almost a gift for him. Ross McCulloch alongside Steve McGill and Ryan McLeish next up from Jordan Hodgson and Billy Waite. Stuart Black, Ivor Greenwood next up, then Colin McNEILL and John Bushby. Front row of the grid last time, but back row here, Michael Paxton and David Hunter. Charles Fraser at the back. You have to have 6 finishes from the back as a newcomer before you can join the main group. Now, I didn't mean that disrespectfully, by the way, about Ross McCulloch and company up front, but, you know, multi-champion John Patterson, you've got to be very brave to bet against him, new car or not. Nobody's going to bet against him from there, not even in these wet conditions, and he's great in the wet and the dry. The lights go out and away we go with Wee Pat leading them down the hill for the first time, and through on the inside line of Ross McCulloch goes the 15 car of Steve McGill. So it's McGill up into second place. Floppy markers going for a Burton. 4th position is Ryan McLeish. Ivor Greenwood challenging for 5th on the inside of Dennis the Menace. That's Billy Waite. So Greenwood is through. Ivor, really hope he doesn't retire. No way do we want to see Ivor Greenwood retire. We love seeing him race. And such an advocate for drivers of all ages. Ivor Greenwood, race 1 win under his belt. A decent finish here will put him at the back of the grid for the final. Remember, the points are added up from races 1 and 2. Top point scorers at the back. Those who haven't done so well starting off the front. Doing well at the moment, though, is Wee Pat. He's away and down the road. Considering he was not that happy with the car, he had fastest lap in race number 1. Ivor Greenwood running very well indeed, though. Loved the comments about the zone, and maybe they will actually put a sign up to designate an area of the circuit as the zone. Here's Colin McNEIll, and it's tricky out there. Lots of spray for the drivers to deal with, as well as these very tricky to master cars. We've seen the back ends want to try and break free. We haven't seen too many gyrations thus far, apart from that one with Michael Paxton in race number 1, slightly aided and abetted into Clark Corner, as we saw, by the 15 car Steve McGill. But at the moment it's the two teammates first and second, with John Patterson up ahead of Ivor Greenwood. Now he's either going to be able to close him down. Ivor's come through, remember, from the 1, 2, 3, 4th row of the grid. So remarkable stuff in the opening laps from Ivor Greenwood. Steve McGill still on the podium, and chasing him is Ryan McCulloch. McGill, regular podium performer, as is McCulloch, so we can maybe expect a good battle between those two. The other car we probably need to look out for is Stuart Black, who is at the moment, I think, down behind Billy Waite in the 17. Indeed he is. So he's up ahead of Jordan Hodgson, who is edging closer towards that rookie title for this year, as McGill is maybe coming under a little bit of pressure for third place. No, McGill's still there at the moment from the 71 of Ryan McCulloch, but John Patterson out. I told you John Patterson wouldn't have a problem from pole position. And the key thing was, I think he was a little bit circumspect in the opening stages of that first race, and it seemed to me in the chat with Joe after race 1 that he seemed to be beating himself up about that a little bit. But the key thing was, it was a podium, it was decent points. The man from Motherwell looking to secure an unprecedented 4th Scottish Legends Championship. I suppose the only thing he can do now, he's broken that record, is maybe an assault on the number of wins that Ben Mason has, or alternatively perhaps a return to the National Legends Championship, where he's won 10 races already. Has never mounted a long campaign in National Legends, and it is really long campaigns that tend to be rewarded in that championship. But with 10 wins, absolutely no doubt as to his credentials in that, as Billy Waite is passed by Stuart Black. Black climbing up the hill. Ross McCulloch will be his next target. So the race leaders flash through shot. Patterson followed by Greenwood. Still in third position is Steve McGill. Now what about David Hunter making progress in the number 6 car? So where is Hunter? The answer is, of course, that he's up ahead of these two that are battling at the moment. So Hunter will be trying to get on the podium as well and keep those points as tight as possible. Patterson, realistically, if Hunter finishes all the races, as through on the inside line now goes Stuart Black. We saw him effect a pass there in race number 1. He's comfortable passing in various points off the track. Hunter all over the back at the moment of Steve McGill. Ryan McCulloch is third, so Black now is past Ross McCulloch. Then it's Billy Waite, followed by Jordan Hodgson. Then Colin McNEILL. Colin McNEILL is next. A little bit of a fight back there on the outside line from Ross McCulloch, but certainly it's position gain there by the 52. Stuart Black up ahead of him, trying to get up towards that battle which is thrashing it out at the moment for the final podium place. Patterson, Greenwood first and second, and now battle for third. David Hunter pops through on the inside line, passes Ryan McCulloch, and Hunter is back up onto the podium here at Knockhill. More after the break. Welcome back to Knockhill Circuit. Billy Waite up ahead of Colin McNEILL. Let's see what McNEILL can do here. Very tricky conditions still, as you can see. What a big gap here between Waite and McNEILL, but he comes offline and he's having a look here at the run down into the hairpin. Billy Waite, I think, aware that he's there, side by side as they come out. Maybe Waite will get a little bit more momentum up the hill, because it was a tighter exit for Colin McNEILL in red. They're still side by side. Good bit of racing here, clean and fair. That's what Legends Racing's all about, but Dennis the Menace has got the run on him. Not seeing enough of those mascots on the back of cars at the moment. You might remember Roger the Rasta running on the back of Ben Mason's car, and also Napoleon the Pig on Gerard McCosh's. So always appeals to the young fans as well. And if you can get a bit of a following at these race meetings, so much the better, as Stuart Black starts to put pressure on the 15 car Steve McGill. And this is for 5th place. McGill in 5th at the moment. There is David Hunter still in 3rd position up ahead of Ryan McCulloch, but 5th yet to be sorted out. Stuart Black having a very good look at the moment. And down on the inside line for the 52 car, super move. Black here should get the position. He's got his nose in front as they come down into the hairpin. turns in, and it is a position gain. So 5th place now for Stuart Black in 52. The podium, though, still has a similar look to the previous race, but same faces, slightly different order. And we are into the closing stages of this one. You can see the last lap board is out here. Mind you, 5th position's not settled yet because it looks like Steve McGill is far from finished. He's lost a length or so at the minute on the 52 car, so maybe Stuart Black does have that 5th place sewn up, and that will keep him in the top 10 of the championship. 9th position coming into this round, trying to hunt down Colin McNEILL. He's 300 points down on McNEILL, so plenty of work to do to try and get into 8th place in the championship. But John Patterson, the leader in blue. Through goes Ivor Greenwood in 2nd place. We wait for the battle for 3rd. It's David Hunter still there. So Greenwood, the winner of the last race, is 2nd here. Greenwood will be top point scorer on the day so far. So he'll start right at the back with David Hunter and also John Patterson, who obviously didn't need very much time to get used to his new car. And here's the checker. It's a win for John Patterson, the championship leader. Ivor Greenwood 2nd. Up the hill, 3rd place for David Hunter. Ryan McLeish is going to take 4th. Here they come up towards the flag. Stuart Black is going to be 5th in the black car. Then the white machine of Steve McGill. Jordan Hodgson is top rookie in the blue number 8. He finishes in 7th place. Ross McCulloch takes 8th. 9th position is Billy Waite. 10th, John Bushby. Everybody finished again. 11th place, Michael Paxton. 12th place, another finish for Charles Fraser. And 13th position, Colin McNEILL.
John, back to business. Like we said, first time you've won in anything other than your old car that's now scrap.
Yeah, I hadn't even thought about it till you said that, so I suppose that is something.
But not happy with it though. You're saying, I saw you coming in and you were shaking it side to side, and I thought, oh, he's no happy.
Oh, no, it's not perfect by any manner of means. I need to get the brakes balanced up a wee bit, still pulling a wee bit. And the last 3 or 4 laps there, I was really more thinking about the final really than trying to break any records. A wee bit to do. There's a wee bit of something wrong with the steering, but to be fair, Stevie's done a tremendous amount of work to get the car even where it is. I mean, it was the fastest this morning, it was the fastest in race 1, I was flying yesterday in practice, so the car's got the time in it. I just need to make some wee adjustments, and I'm sure it'll be just as good as the last car.
It doesn't harm your championship either, does it?
Well, that's really what this weekend was about. This weekend's about shaking the car down, take it back to the garage, try and improve it a wee bit, preserve the lead that I had. I wasn't really bored about extending it. As long as I get into the last round with a buffer, then I can relax a wee bit, and that's what today's all about.
It shows your dominance, John, because I don't know many people that can go end over end in race 1 and then still, at the end of the day, potentially win the championship.
Yeah, well, 600 points that I would have expected to get that weekend. I think I come away with less than 100. But that's just because I had such a good season up to then. Everything had went to plan. But that's racing, Joe. You know what it's like. You're only if you're no one to crash, then don't race. It's just one of these things. It's nobody's fault. It just
you had a good run without it going upside down, didn't you?
I had 3 years with hardly a scratch, so I don't overly dwell on it. To be fair, it was just.
You're an ex-bike racer, aren't you? So I know that you're not fazed in the slightest by what happened.
No, I've raced bikes and motocross and stuff, and that was nothing compared to falling off a motorbike. It's just a lot of work for the guys, really. That's probably the biggest thing for me. I go home and forget about it. I get the bill written off, which is I get a bit of pocket pain. But it's not. It's the guys that suffer really when things like that happen. They need to work all hours to try and get the car back together, and then obviously it's not just back together. It needs to be back winning for me. So that's the extra pressure that's on them. They know that I'm coming here to win. If the car doesn't win, then I'm looking around to find out why. It's not always their fault, not always my fault. Sometimes it's just the way it goes.
Well done.
Thanks, Joe.
Ivor, 2nd place this time. It's still a good result. Not quite the win we saw this morning, though, but John back on form, even though his face is tripping him, because he didn't win by enough, but he still won.
Well, I think John was just doing the usual thing there, driving around looking in the mirrors. I could not have gone any faster and stayed on the track. And I was told under no circumstances was I'd have been that car was to bring it home in one piece. So Mr. McCall laid down the law at the start of the race. He's the boss, so we're home in one piece.
If that was you being cautious, I wouldn't like to see you try.
Well, if I could get that Duncan out to give us a few lessons, I'd be very happy.
Well done.
Thank you.
I heard you just say to John, what was it, normal business resumes there with John there. John won for the first time in a car that wasn't his old car. All his wins have always been the same car, but he's just done it with another one.
Yeah, I mean, I've said before, you can't take away from him, he's a driver. So you could put a set of wheels on a washing machine and he'd still be fast in it. I mean, fair due to him, he's come back and back to where he was. So, aye.
Conditions, you mentioned how slippy they are. Obviously the whole place is slippy because it's wet, but in particular turn 3?
Yeah, I was finding it a bit awkward, more so towards the end. I mean, the first 3 or 4 laps were fine, and then McIntyre's just become a headache for me, and just making a good lap impossible to put together.
Good luck for the next one.
Thank you, cheers.
Legends race number 3. It's still wet, not raining at the moment. Michael Paxton on pole position for this one. Not ideal conditions, but it's an ideal starting position.
Yeah, it's going to give me the best chance to try and keep these guys behind me for a few corners perhaps, but just going to do what I've been doing all season, just try and keep it clean, have a bit of fun, and just make these guys work for it to try and get past me.
Don't give anything away.
Oh, try not to, just don't tell them.
Good luck. We'll move a little further back. Who else have we got? Oh, here's John Bushby. We'll have a quick chat with John. Not spoken to John for a while. We haven't seen John for a while, in fact. John, good to see you. I didn't notice you were here. Sorry about that.
It's okay, mate, not a problem.
What's new?
We're just trying to keep the thing on the track. That's the new bit.
Yeah, it's not easy today, is it, with this weather conditions?
Yeah, definitely. But also, while I've got you here, Joe, I'd like to mention, from the legends in general and from everybody else around the Knockhill staff, as we know, our thoughts are out with Gary and Hilda.
Yeah, we've had a few mentions of that this weekend, and it's rightly so. Obviously, a big part of the Knockhill scene since before I was born. Not before you were born, but since before I was born. He's been around a long time, and obviously we're all thinking about Gary and Hilda.
Definitely, we are. It's in our thoughts, and Hilda. They're a great team, they're a great couple, and we just hope that they can come through this and everything goes accordingly and we can get them back again.
Well said.
But yeah, our thoughts are with them all the time.
Well said, John.
And thanks again, as I say every time, thanks to my sponsors, and certainly thanks to my wife today for staying out here in all the weathers, all the rain, and keeping my boots dry so I don't slide off the pedals.
Enjoy it. I know it's not easy out there. Everyone was moaning about something on the surface in the last one down at turn 3.
Whether there's anything on the surface, as you well know, Joe, this circuit in this weather, it is an ice ring. You have to just play the game and just ginger. Hope it stays on the surface.
Enjoy.
Thank you, Joe. Cheers.
There we'll go. We'll keep moving back. John, obviously, our sort of resident marshal turned racer, if you like. Always nice to see, and he always has time to mention the marshals. Ross McCulloch. We've seen Ross on the overall podium a few times this year. Famous number. I never noticed the Rossi number there. Is that intentional?
Yeah, a wee connection with the bike sale, Joe.
Yeah, remind me, I've just knocked your mirror there. You'll have to fix that when I walk away.
Well, I'll need to be looking in them, that's for sure.
Yeah, I just mentioned we've seen you on the overall podium. I've not seen you so much this weekend.
No, but struggled a wee bit in the wet. This is only my second meeting out this year, so first time in the wet, and they're a bit of a handful to driving these things in the wet. So hopefully this one we picked up a wee bit of time in the last one, so hopefully we go a wee bit quicker this time. So
it's a decent starting position as well.
Aye, just kind of hang in there and keep it consistent. That's the key.
Enjoy.
Yeah, cheers, mate. Thanks.
And there we go. With that, I will hand it to Richard. Legends race number 3.
Thanks very much, Joe. Good to hear from those guys. We'll take a look at the grid, which has Michael Paxton on pole, John Bushby alongside them, Billy Waite, Colin McNEILL, Steve McGill and Ross McCulloch row 3, Stuart Black and Jordan Hodgson row 4, row 5 Brian McLeish and David Hunter, John Patterson, Ivor GREENWOOD and Charles Fraser complete the grid. Quick shout out and some explanations. Gary Stagg and his wife Hilda, we wish them well after their incident, and Gary, a top man. He's given me a great deal of help over the years with equipment. He's a super guy, great engineer. He's in charge of Radio Knockhill here over the years. And before the start of the race, Ivor GREENWOOD was talking about Duncan. He's talking about Duncan Vincent. Duncan Vincent, Black Lightning. He's part of the commentary team here as well, and he has raced Legends. He was very quick, multi-race winner in Legends cars, and be good to see him back in Legends at some point. But we're on for our third race, the final race of the day. Michael Paxton and John Bushby lead them away through the spray. Billy Waite is challenging for an early lead here in 17 round the outside line. But it's Paxton that, coming through. Colin McNEILL on the inside line, but too much momentum. Not on the escape road, he's on the grass. That's going to lose him a lot of momentum and places, but faint heart never kissed a pig. Colin McNEILL tried to get through into the lead. He's not lost that much ground. He's behind John Bushby. Ross McCulloch, who was on the podium at his first outing of the year on the reverse circuit race last time out. Ivor GREENWOOD, top scorer on the day so far, is up ahead of John Patterson. GREENWOOD's on a little bit of a mission here for my money. We need to keep our eyes on David Hunter as well, but it's Stuart Black that comes through in lead position from Michael Paxton. Gary Waite third, John Bushby, Colin McNEILL is next, and I tell you what, out of the starters from the back of the field, the best start was with Ivor GREENWOOD. No, it wasn't. It was David Hunter, because Hunter's ahead of him. Whichever way you look at it, the three podium boys from the first two races are all still together. And Paterson here, reading it well, sees a gap on the inside, can't go for it. He's up ahead of Ivor GREENWOOD at the moment, but he's got David Hunter immediately in front. Hunter looking to try and go through on the inside line here of Colin McNEILL as they go under the Beatsons Bridge, down into Duffus Dip. So Hunter, the leader of the top 3 point scorers so far, and through goes Ivor GREENWOOD. Welcome back to Knockhill Circuit. Things have changed around a little bit since we were last here. There's the race leader, Stuart Black, and coming through now, second position is with David Hunter, third place John Patterson, then Michael Paxton. Ivor GREENWOOD still working his way through the field. Colin McNEILL has dropped back a little bit, but we've got a good scrap on for second, and through into second place now goes the championship leader. John Patterson second, David Hunter is down to third. Fourth place Ivor GREENWOOD, so the three musketeers who have annexed the podium so far today very much together again. Stuart Black is away and down the road though as we approach the midsection of this race. There is Stuart Black, good lead for Black. History repeating itself here for Stuart. Took the race win on the 2nd of July. Race 3, only his third meeting of the year on that occasion, so we know he's got the pace and hopefully will come back for the final round and indeed next year. But it's Patterson and Hunter fighting it out for second. Ivor GREENWOOD will want to get in the mix as well and claim the trophy as the day's top scorer. GREENWOOD at the moment though in fourth place. Michael Paxton running well. Paxton the top rookie in this race, and the gap between the two rookies, that is Jordan Hodgson, the rookie championship leader, and Michael Paxton in the blue and white number 5 car, around about 400 points. So that particular battle's going to go all the way to the last round of the year as Ivor GREENWOOD tries the outside line on David Hunter. Hunter's given him room there, maybe because he's looking at the inside line of John Patterson, but look at the speed that Ivor GREENWOOD carries. He's on the outside line, right of shot, and John Patterson was not letting him through, and GREENWOOD as a result loses momentum. I think probably had to come off the gas there, and David Hunter back into third place. GREENWOOD with all the work to do again. Fourth position for the 37 car. Hunter, as you can see, far from left at the moment by wee Pat, still getting to grips with the new car. I love the fact that he said he was struggling. Who struggles with the new car and takes a race win? But John really, by his own standards, wants everything to be 100%, and what racing driver doesn't? You can't fault the mindset of John Patterson. That's how he's got to 3 championship titles in Scottish Legends. And at the moment, I've got to say, a win in this one is looking like an uphill task, because Stuart Black controlling things wonderfully out front. He's managing that gap pretty well. It's come down a little bit. Ivor GREENWOOD, the third of the cars we're looking at, has the fastest lap again. GREENWOOD has been the pace man this weekend for sure. He's going to be looking for another podium here. I think the wind's going to be out of it as they go up the hill once again. The race leader buzzing the pit wall, up and over the brow they go. Ryan McCulloch still there in 5th position. 6th place is Michael Paxton, heading for a decent finish here. So down the hill you can see conditions are still very tricky indeed, and the 3 drivers we've got here, whilst they're not engaged in battle at the moment, you saw a little bit of back end there from the number 1 car. They're not engaged in battle, but when they are, they're having to multitask. They're having to try and close down on the race leader whilst squabbling for positions themselves. Now, whilst the 2nd place car, John Patterson and indeed Ivor GREENWOOD, are teammates, David Hunter is not a teammate of those guys, and he's in the mix, so they are battling. Whereas if there were 2 teammates, maybe they could just work together and try and reel in the race leader. But Stuart Black looking very good, very comfortable out front at the moment, still got that big gap. John Patterson holding 2nd position. Again, it looks like David Hunter's going to have to go defensive again soon in the number 6, because Ivor GREENWOOD's been whittling away, takes a wide line, seems to make up a little bit of ground as they go across the line, seems to make up ground coming out of the hairpin and up the hill. Down into Duffus we go again. You can see GREENWOOD's car pops out, runs slightly wider here. This could give him a better run. Down through Duffus and Leslie's into McIntyre's. David said he was struggling in this particular part. Doesn't look like a massive struggle there. Rides a little bit of curb, and Greenwood again trying to follow him. It was Greenwood's rear end that steps out just a tad there, so maybe Ivor, well, we know he's on the limit, he always is. Said that in race number 2, and still challenging hard for 3rd place, but it's Paterson 2nd, Hunter 3rd, Ivor Greenwood in 4th place, and the race leader Stuart Black still got that lead. Oh, sideways moment again from John Paterson. All of these guys are on the absolute limit, and really there's no other place for a race driver to be. If you're not on the limit, I guess you could say you're not trying. Nobody here thinking about championship points and consolidating position. They're all in it for the race, and here comes Greenwood again, goes for the wide line, doesn't work for him again, might tuck back on the inside here, which he does, and David Hunter under pressure. Greenwood drawing level with him side by side for 3rd place. Ivor Greenwood's got his nose in front, and David Hunter is down to 4th position again. Now can Ivor Greenwood get ahead of his teammate? He's going to try and challenge John Paterson championship wise. The gap between Greenwood and Hunter, it was over 100 points coming into this meeting. He's actually going to be under that now, so Ivor Greenwood in with a shout of 2nd position, and indeed the overall championship, because we know how capricious fate can be, particularly on final events of the year. Stuart Black still out front, running superbly. Little bit of opposite lock again from him. That's not showboating, that's Stuart Black racing as hard and fast as he can. 2nd position though is still John Paterson. 2nd, 3rd and 4th. This race now by legend standards unusually looking pretty much settled at the moment. Greenwood trying to close down at the moment. Ivor still with the fastest lap. He's been consistently lapping in the 68-second bracket throughout this meeting. Fastest lap in the previous race as well. As onto the last lap goes Stuart Black. He's going to be set for the win. Here comes down through Duffers Dip now. Big gap, look at the gap. We wait, there is a flash of blue and yellow, which tells us that John Paterson is still in 2nd position, but Stuart Black on for his 2nd race win of the year, and it'll be another popular win for him. Rides the curb slightly there in the 52 car, and he'll have been expecting John Paterson to close. He's gone wide and gets a wheel on the dirt and gyrates, kicks up dirt onto the track. And that's not only the win gone, but the podium has disappeared as well. He spins back onto the track, and I think he's stalled, because through to 4th place goes Ryan McLeish. That's gifted the win to John Paterson. Christmas early for the defending champion, and hard lines to Stuart Black. I think he's got it fired up again. Well, I said the race was settled. It isn't, because Ivor Greenwood's having a look on the outside line now. Once again, Greenwood has been doggedly sticking to the outside line, and this time he's very nearly side by side. A little clatter into the side of John Paterson. They're side by side up to the flag. Who's going to get this one? They're still side by side. That is going to go to the timing screen between Greenwood and Paterson. David Hunter is 3rd. I can tell you that Ivor Greenwood took the win by 9 thousandths of a second from John Paterson. David Hunter next from Ryan McLeish and Michael Paxton. Ross McCulloch 6th, then Billy Waite, Jordan Hodgson and Steve McGill. Stuart Black recovers for 10th from Colin McNEILL, John Bushby and Charles Fraser.
Dave, drama there. Everyone thought that was going to be a 4th place for you, but what a nightmare on the last lap.
That was gifted to me really there. I mean, Stuart was away with it. 3 corners ahead of everybody else and half a lap to go, and
just the worst nightmare, eh?
I feel sorry for him. I mean, he's only had one win so far, and that'd been his 2nd, and it'd be nice to see him get a win, but to inherit 3rd, I'll take it. It's good points for me.
And championship still alive?
It's still there. I mean, it's going to be tough. Mathematically, he could still do it, but it's going to be a tall order.
Good luck.
Thank you very much.
John, 2nd place, but it looks like a genuine smile this time, because Ivor, I mean, he drives so well, he's the old boy, but he's still got it.
It was Ivor's day today. It was definitely quicker. To be honest, I've got a bit of work to do before I could feel annoyed about no winning the day, because his car's just not, it's not where it will be. It'll just take a bit of time. And Ivor, I don't know where he finds the grip, but he's certainly got grip out the hairpin, and none of the rest of us can find. But fair play to him, it was his day today. Got to say a word for Stuart.
I was just going to say a word for Stuart. I feel for him.
God, how?
Oh, nightmare.
I mean,
I have nightmares about that.
He's drove 9.5 amazing laps, and he's got back on the back straight. And I come up over the chicane thinking, oh well, maybe second. I could see Ivor coming, but when he's actually come off, I've lost a wee bit of time because I've been like, wow, because he was pirouetting up the straight he pirouetted onto the grass back onto the track, and I was like, oh, poor man. And it kind of distracted me for a wee minute, and I lost a wee bit of time into Clark, and then I seen Ivor coming, and I thought, championship on. I says, oh, if he's going to go around outside, I need to give him the room, and I did, and I thought I'll still beat him to the line. It wasn't to be, but no, I'm happy with the day. It's one step closer to my championship, and
it could have been a lot worse, John. Like you said at the start of the day when we spoke to you, this car could have shaken itself to bits.
Up until last weekend, I had won 16 of the 18 races this year. To lose the championship after such a good season would have been devastating. So, although I was pretty gutted the first race and I swore I wasn't going to drive again just for a finish, I felt out there I was driving for a finish, and I'll go home happy enough.
Well done.
Thank you.
Ivor, well done. What a fantastic drive. Everybody's saying you're the man to beat in these conditions, finding grip that they don't know where it is.
Don't know about the grip now, but I've been doing this like a long time, and racing motorcycles, of course, helped. I was always fast in the rain on a motorcycle around the Isle of Man and places, so no problem. If you can feel the car, but that track was absolutely skating rink conditions for everybody. I mean, if you saw some of the onboard video, it would scare you to watch them, the shapes. I mean, David Hunter one time was absolutely 90 degrees to the track, and fair play to Michael Hunter, and I could see nothing, was my problem. And I did not want to run into David Hunter and take him out of that race under any circumstances, because he's going for that place, second place in the championship, same as me. And if I'm going to beat him, it'll be a first fight over the line. He's behind me. It's never going to happen, but we'll try it anyway. I can't see the deficit being made up now in the next meeting. He's well clear in points, so I don't know, unless he had a big accident, and I really don't want that to happen.
Well done, Ivor. We're all looking forward to seeing what happens next time. Final round coming up next month in October, so make sure you tune in next time. But it's all we've got time for today. Well done.
Thank you very much. Sorry about the conditions, but same for everybody. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.